Recently, I had a number of people telling me that I should just sell my Xbox, that there's no need to own an Xbox right now because Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation and Nintendo. I mean, sure, that's true, but that doesn't really change much for me. I mean, Xbox is still a fine console. There's plenty of games. Xbox Game Pass keeps on giving, so why should I really sell my Xbox? Let's look into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about all that Xbox drama for a little bit more, because why not? I observe a lot of people on social media lately having all kinds of meltdowns, and I'm not really going to criticize anyone for doing whatever they feel is best for them, right? If some people don't want to be associated with Xbox brand anymore, that's fine with me. I mean, it's your thing, right? But the funny thing is that like I had a number of people on social media, on YouTube, on Twitter, telling me that I should just I should sell my Xbox. Like why would I keep it? Like, hey, all Xbox games are coming to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch apparently. And that kind of comments actually makes me laugh because okay, let's talk about games. I mean, first of all, yes, 4 games are coming to Nintendo and PlayStation. It's Hi-Fi Rush, and you're actually looking at that game right now, playing in the background. Sea of Thieves is coming, Pentiment and Grounded. And yes, they are smaller games. Yes, this is just probably the beginning, right? But, I did enjoy Hi-Fi Rush a little bit. I actually never got to finish that game. I actually still need to do it. Same with Pentiment. But games like Sea of Thieves and Grounded are more like social kind of experiences, not necessarily for me. I'm not really a social person, if you know what I mean. And I don't really have much time to play these kind of games anyway. So I stick to single player experiences. But that's not the point. I mean, that's not the reason why I'm not going to sell my Xbox, and I'm not selling my Xbox, by the way, if you were curious. I mean, the reason I'm not doing that, and I'm not going to do it, and the reason I'll probably buy another Xbox when it comes out, probably in next 2 years or something. 2026, I've heard. So maybe not 2 years, 3 years, because that's probably going to be end of 2026 when it comes to next gen Xbox. And the reason why is that I'm pretty happy with what I get. And I get it. I understand all the drama. I understand why some people kind of behave the way they do. Because if you've been fighting these console wars for years or decades, some people did, so that may affect them in a way, because all of a sudden they don't have any ammo to fight the console war, right? And I get it, right? I understand why some people are mad. I understand why they all of a sudden became a PlayStation fans. I don't know how you can actually how that can happen overnight, but hey. That's just, I mean, listen, me personally, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I enjoy PlayStation games too, right? I'm not necessarily a big fan of PlayStation as a brand per se. I prefer what Microsoft actually do. Not necessarily exclusive wise, right? I'm just talking about the ecosystem. I'm talking about all the features that you can find on Xbox, all the whole Xbox PC kind of ecosystem I like as well, because I actually enjoy the fact that, hey, if a game is not running that well on Xbox, I can always play it on PC at better resolution, frame rate, or whatever, right? So I actually like that kind of things, and I really do want Xbox to keep on investing in that kind of things, really. And this is the thing, right? Like the reason why I'm an Xbox fan is a combination of things. It's not only about exclusives, right? I mean, yeah, I get it. You know, exclusive content is kind of important, right? Because for Microsoft or for Sony or for Nintendo, if they really want these people, more people into their to get into their ecosystem, right? And that's what I believe Microsoft is trying to build, right? A huge ecosystem, not necessarily. It's not all centered around Xbox as a console. So, like me personally, it doesn't really bother me that much. Like, yeah, when I heard that Microsoft wants to release games on other platforms, I was a bit surprised. I mean, not really, but I wasn't really surprised with Hi-Fi Rush, I guess, because it's it's a kind of smaller niche game. Very good, by the way, but still, Sea of Thieves, service game. Pentiment, that's a proper niche game, really. So, that doesn't really surprise me that much. And like I said, we've seen Microsoft releasing a ton of games on other platforms as well. Call of Duty will be there too. And, but the thing is that, like, even in the future, even if they decide to release all or most of their games on other platforms, and I don't know, I have my doubts if they will just straight away release all their games on other platforms day one and everything. I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I would not rule out any game on other platforms, but I don't necessarily believe that Microsoft would release every single game on PlayStation or Switch or whatever, right? And I have always been very critical of their messaging and stuff, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you are in third place when it comes to user base and everything. Not necessarily money, because when it comes to how much money they make, apparently they are actually doing quite all right, especially now with ABK, right? So they just became the biggest publisher in the world, I think, right? But still, from console perspective, from console user perspective, right? I mean, I don't really have a reason to sell my Xbox, because people say, oh, it's another Sega, right? Xbox is dead. I mean, no, it's not the same. I mean, when Sega decided to just quit the console market, I mean, they did that. They overnight. They said, okay, guys, no more Saturn, no more new Sega consoles. This is it. We're just going to be releasing games on other platforms. There's no Sega ecosystem, right? I mean, it is what it is. That's the way it happened, right? While with Xbox, it's like doesn't really. I mean, the only thing that is changing really from kind of their strategic perspective is that they allow their games on other platforms. So they're still going to be making more consoles. They're still going to be releasing games on Xbox, right? And actually, it's actually funny that all these things that are happening right now are just happening on a really when we are on the edge of Xbox really making some really big moves and releasing some really big games. I mean, we've seen some big games already, like Starfield, for example, or Forza. And I know there's been some complaints about these games when it comes to, I guess, Starfield. I mean, we can't really complain about Starfield content, right? Forza, I guess, yeah, Forza, it does look like it came out hot, because they are just basically releasing updates every couple of weeks and improving that game, which is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good that they are improving that game, but it's not necessarily good that they still released it without some content. But anyway, for me personally, nothing really changes from my enjoyment of the ecosystem and games in that ecosystem perspective, right? I mean, I'm still going to get all these Xbox Game Studios games, Bethesda games. I'm going to get all the ABK games. Day one on Game Pass, by the way. And I know that people say, oh, but I mean, what's the point of having an Xbox now? We can play on PC. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, you can say the same about PlayStation now because, hey, I mean, you can wait for some games like a year or two. But you know what? You're probably going to, even if some of these Xbox games will make its way to other platforms, you're probably going to have to wait for them anyway, right? So I would rather not wait. And to be honest with you, all that exclusive talk right now is just kind of silly because you talk about exclusives and like, looks like first-party content from PlayStation is not really going to be that great this year either, right? And yes, I know, like, there's Final Fantasy, new Final Fantasy game, which apparently is fantastic. I've seen the reviews. Well done. Square Enix, I guess. But yeah, guys, listen, like I said, I mean, yeah, I bought my Xbox not to brag about exclusives because when I bought it, there wasn't actually there wasn't really much of an exclusives back then. So I guess that was not the reason why I did that. I mean, let's face it, all the major features of Xbox still are here. I mean, first party support is going to be great. These games will be hopefully well optimized for Xbox. Backwards compatibility is still a thing. Next gen Xbox is coming probably in 2026. I mean, I don't really have much of a reason to complain about, really. Like, I know, and that's just me, and I understand, and I've heard all the arguments, and I've heard all the points that people were making. But like I said, I understand some of these things may bother you, but these things don't bother me much, really, right? And that's the thing. I'm not going anywhere. Xbox is not going anywhere. Yes, some of their games will be coming to other platforms. I don't believe that all of them really, but we'll see how that goes. And you know what? I would watch PlayStation closely too, because you never know what they're going to do in the future, because hey, I mean, they're not actually doing that great either, really, financially, really. So anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.